Riddhi, what's happening, man?
What's
How's life?
up?
How are
Life
you doing?
is good. How are you doing?
I'm good. Welcome to my podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Yes.
I'm really excited to be here.
I'm excited to have you. I mean, you're a very interesting person. You do a lot in fashion and design. You're a little bit of a
Think so?
hustler.
Yeah, I do a lot of things, I guess. So I guess that makes sense. Yeah.
So we'll start with like how we actually met. I think I met you a few years ago.
Yeah.
Through
How long? Like 4?
It was like
5? I don't even know. Wow.
I don't know.
How long have we known each
feels
other?
like a while ago. Maybe
It
like
feels-
4 years.
I think it was 4 probably.
That sounds good. That's a
Yeah.
good number. Let's go with that.
Let's go with 4. Yeah, let's go with 4.
So
I think it was 4.
it was at like a park, right?
Yeah, we did that fitness thing. You tried to make us do what was it? Tabata?
Oh yeah,
Was it Tabata?
that was when I was.
That was the first time I ever did Tabata, and I
Oh,
died.
man.
Thanks for that. Afterwards, I'm like, oh my god, this guy is so hardcore. How am I gonna do this? But it was great. I had such a good time. I love to push myself, so that was a really good workout.
Yeah, you're always doing like workouts or yoga or something, right?
Yeah, I like to try different things. I'm like not somebody who can just go to the gym and work out. Like I need to do like different things, different classes, and I like to box. Boxing is fun, but sometimes I get sick of that too. So like I'll put yoga in there. I like doing like aerial stuff. So
Sweet.
I don't know. I don't know where it comes from, but I like it.
So you've been consistent since 2020?
Absolutely not. I've been actually the opposite of consistent because I got a puppy. So it's been super insane with
The
this
puppy looks amazing, by the way.
Oh my gosh,
You and
he's-
Kush got that beautiful dog. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. Tell
Yeah.
me about the dog. What's the name?
Rio.
Rio.
Yeah.
Love the name.
Yeah, he's super cute. The name actually comes from a Netflix show. Have you watched La Casa de Papel?
No, I don't
Money
think so.
Heist?
Money Heist, yeah.
Okay, well, it's the same thing. It's the Spanish
Oh.
name is La Casa de Papel.
Yeah.
Or something like that. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. But it's Money Heist. And the couple, Rio and Tokyo, on there. So when me and my boyfriend first met, we were talking about that show, and he had me saved as Tokyo. And when he would write me like letters or cards, he would sign them "Love Rio." So when we got a dog, we're like, it's just fitting. We should name him Rio.
That's adorable.
So and it fits. I think he's so cute. He's a mini Labradoodle. He's wakes me up at 6:00 every morning. But
Oh my
it's okay.
gosh.
Yeah.
How many weeks has it been?
It feels like lots of weeks, but it's only been a week and a half. It's gonna be 2 weeks. Actually, it's been 2 weeks yesterday. Only 2 weeks since I've had him, and it feels like 2 years.
That's crazy. Is this your first dog?
Yeah, ever. The good thing is that Kush knows like what to do with a dog. I'm just like clueless. He's also training me to train the dog, and then he's also training the dog.
He's got everybody under lock.
Yeah,
now,
he's
right?
got it. Like he's got the patience for it. He's got the patience for me because I'm always like, wait, what do I do? Do I close the door? Do I take him here? Do I take like how long has it been? Like I'm always forgetting stuff.
That's awesome. So yeah, I'm really excited to talk to you today about fashion blogging
Yep.
and style blogging and all this stuff. You're
Yep.
doing a lot on Instagram and on your website, actually, Restyles.
Yep.
So I just want to like dive right into that.
All right, let's do it.
So tell me about your website. Like, when did you start your blog?
So I started my blog in 2018, and 2 years before that, I wanted to start a blog, but I just never got around to it. I work in the fashion industry, so I knew that I wanted to do something to express myself, but I just never took the leap until the 2018. And when I did, it was a lot of work. And I kind of had to just teach myself everything, like from building a website to like figuring out how to take pictures. And I guess in a sense, I had an idea of how I wanted to do it, but I just had to execute. So I just kind of like just started. And it was tough, and I feel like I'm still learning, I'm still growing, I'm still evolving my site, what I want it to be, still trying to find my voice. In the beginning, it was really tough, but now I've just kind of accepted that it'll happen as it happens. I have to kind of put in the work and then see how it goes. But I can't just like wait for like this moment to come where I'm like, okay, yeah, I got it. I have it all locked, all on lock, So there's a learning curve, but I think it's a work in progress, and that's kind of what I like about it. Because like every day, I'm like, I feel like I learn something new, and I want to talk about something new. So I think the hard part is putting out the content and putting out the work on a consistent basis. I think you have all these ideas, you have all these like things that you want to do, but it's just actually doing them, especially with a full-time job and like all the other things that, you know, life has to offer us. So
it's a
lot.
juggling act, really.
It really is. And you know, in high school, I was always that person who always had like a side hustle. I always did something on the side outside of like school or outside of work. So in high school, it was dance. I would go to dance all the time. I danced with a couple of dance teams for years, and we would have gigs around, you know, the cities. We would have gigs around the state, and it was my way of kind of hustling on the side. So I've always something that I knew how to do, but it becomes like too much when you get older. So like I feel like dance is something that I don't get to do as often now. You know,
you're a great dancer. I mean, you perform all the time. Like you performed at Chotney's wedding.
Well,
right?
yes.
Like,
I feel like I'm required to perform at all of my friends' weddings.
Special guest all the time.
Yeah.
And I think you did a lot of collaborations too with a few YouTubers and a few different people.
Yeah, so I mean, because I've been in the dance world a long time, I know like a bunch of dancers, especially like around the area, and dancers who I used to dance with. And then, you know, they obviously have their own dance communities and connections, and sometimes, you know, sometimes they'll hit me up like, let's do, you know, a YouTube video collaboration. We'll do different things. I worked with a few dance teams, like most recently Exodus Artistry. They're amazing, and the team is just phenomenal. I mean, working with them was just like, it was like some of the best like dance experiences that I've had. But it's also like involves a lot of work, you know. And for me, I just couldn't put in the time, and I just didn't think it was right for me to be that person who's like still a part of the team but not putting in the time that everybody else is, because, you know, it's a team effort.
Totally.
But yeah, so now I just dance like, you know, individually on the side. Like I have a group of individual dancers, and we do gigs like here and there. Have a lot of friends' weddings, so we do that. But yeah, it's been fun, but it's not something I can do all the time anymore, really. I wish I could, but, you know.
So all your focus is on fashion right now?
Yeah, I mean, that and my job. You know, so I just started a new job, so it's like kind of brand new, so I have to like find my place and like really like, it's a lot of work what I'm doing right now, and I really love it. So I've been spending a lot of time and thought into my job, and then like we just moved in together, and then we got Rio, and it's like a lot. So my blogging has been like kind of on a halt for the past couple months, because I haven't really done what I want to do in terms of like changing it and updating it. I have a couple posts pending, but just got to get them out, you know.
I hear you. And you're doing modeling too. I mean, we've done a couple photo shoots together. Had a photo shoot with a few other people, right? Yeah. So you're always collaborating.
Yeah, I mean, collaboration is the name of the game, you know. That's one of the beauties of being on Instagram and being able to have this like community that you can connect with. Like half the people that I know because of Instagram. And it's insane that I say that, because when I think about it, I'm like, wow, some of like my closest friends now are people who I just like literally met online. And some of the people that I communicate with online are from all over the world. They're in Texas, they're in Cali, and I talk to them on like a regular basis. And it's amazing that I can like get this feedback and get like inspiration and be able to converse with people who are like on the other side of the world, and we're all like doing something different, able to like bring awareness to what we believe in, which is like super dope.
Yeah, so, absolutely.
Yeah, so that's my favorite part. So if somebody's asking me for a collaboration, like I do my best to do it, because I love meeting new people, and you never know what you have to offer and what other people have to offer. And the beauty in that is like, it's my favorite part. Plus, I'm a social butterfly, so I love meeting people. It's great.
Yeah, some people say that they're like, oh, you know, like technology's taking over. Kids are too immersed in social media. Especially like the younger generation, they're always on their phones and stuff. But there's an interesting dynamic. Like you might not have been able to meet some of the people that you've connected with, you know, unless it was for Instagram or social, you know, like.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it comes down to how you perceive it as an individual. And I think that has a lot to do with your mental stability, or maybe stability is not the right word, but like where you're at, the state of your mentality. If you and it could stem from, God knows, like all kinds of factors. So like I think it just has to, like, for me, I know that there are times when it gets exhausting to be on Instagram, especially when you're looking at everybody's highlight reel and you're like, well, this person's doing this and this person's doing this and I'm doing what, you know? So I think that happens to everyone. But it's just being able to pull yourself out of it and kind of just remember what you're doing it for. For me, it's because I love fashion. I love talking about fashion. I love taking pictures in outfits that I've created. I love talking about brands that are doing well, that are doing good in the world. So I'm trying to find a way to express that and at the same time still be authentic about who I am and what I do. And I think that sometimes you can get caught up in comparing yourself, and you have to just take a step back and remember that, hey, like, I'm just posting what I like to do. This is who I am. I might not be that or that, but I am this, and it could be tough. And I can understand why people think that social media is kind of taking over, because I think it can get to that point if you're not careful and if you're not, really true to what you are doing. And some people are just not mentally strong enough to deal with like the backlash that they can get. Like I've heard so many stories of kids like, wanting to commit suicide, of kids wanting to like, hurt themselves because of something that people say online. Like, people can be really cruel.
Yeah.
So I think there's a give and a take to that. So yeah, it just depends. You never know.
Yeah, I mean, you got to be careful to cyber bullies, but you're right. Like, the being authentic is like the main thing, being true to yourself. And just from what I can see from your profile, like, you don't post like a million pictures a day or anything like that. You post whenever you feel, but your pictures are really cool though. Like, you have a lot of different model shots or different outfits that you're wearing that kind of stand out. And it's like a link to your blog in like a really unique way. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
And
I like to just do like fun, like I like to just dress how I normally dress, just with a little bit of a oomph, and I do my photo shoots, and I love doing the photo shoots. They're fun, and I just enjoy it. So like, yeah, I post whenever. I try to post on a schedule, but it's really hard for me. So I just post when I can, maybe once a day, maybe like every other day, but it gets easier to post, I guess, after you realize like how to do it and you get more in the swing of things. But there are times when I'm just like, I'm not doing it, and I just don't. I'll just like forget about it for a week and not even touch it. And I'm like, oh, let me get back into it, And like some of my friends make fun of me. They're like, oh, we saw your outfit of the day picture in the bathroom. Is that where you spend most of your time? And I'm like, yeah, that's where I spend most of my time. So it's fun, but I enjoy it, and I have people who have reached out to me and they're like, oh, thank you so much for letting me know where to get this, or like, oh, I haven't tried this, but I've heard good things. Like, can you tell me, like, and they'll reach out to me with questions. And I love that, because that's kind of why I started this whole thing. Like, before there was Instagram or any of that stuff, I had family members and friends who would like call me up and be like, hey, I'm wearing a red dress tonight. Like, do you think I should wear my black shoes, or do you think I should wear my silver shoes? Like, what should I do? And I'm like, send me a picture. Like, let me see what it looks like. So I've always been that person who my friends reach out to for like styling advice or things like that. So now this is just a way for me to showcase that in a digital way.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Just like documenting it, putting it out there.
Yeah, I'm just documenting it, putting it out there. Recently, actually, with everything that's been going on in the world, and working in the industry, I've always seen the waste that the fashion industry creates. And now that we're in this time, I feel like there's so many new brands popping up that are doing so many good things for the world. And being in this space, I feel like I have a responsibility to kind of bring some awareness to that, bring some light to that. Like, yes, I have this fashion blog. Yes, I can post about my personal style. But I myself in my own life would want to be more, conscious. I want to be more responsible about the way that I shop, especially because I am somebody who is a fashion, consumer. I enjoy buying clothes and shoes and, you know, wearing cute outfits and having new things. Like, you know, like that's how I express my personal style. So I think that it's important for me to be an advocate for helping the world as much as I can, especially when I know what kind of damage the fashion industry does working in it. And now that in this new job that I have, my company is also very very green. Like everything we use is recycled. We use recycled paper, recycled utensils. Like everything is recycled. You know, we donate a lot of things. We have so many like green activities going on. And that kind of inspired me to think that if my company that's this massive can take on this initiative, why can't I do it as something that I like to do for myself? So I started implementing it into my own life. So I stopped shopping at like places like H&M or Zara unless I really love the item and I know that I'm going to be wearing it a certain amount of time. So I try to tell myself that if I'm going to wear it 30 times, then I think it'll be worth getting. So I'll get a basic t-shirt from Zara because I'll probably wear that white t-shirt with like every single outfit for the next year more than 30 times. But I'm probably not going to get a black sequence dress from Zara because how many times can you wear a black sequence dress? I'm probably going to wear it once, you know? So I think that's where you have to start like learning how to be a little bit more sustainable. And I think we can all do it, you know, and it's kind of better. Like my closet looks great. Like I'm just like, this is so nice. Like I don't have a million things. I don't have to dig through a million things. So that's kind of the direction that I'm taking my blog now. Just being a little bit more conscious and a little bit more responsible, what they call slow fashion.
Right. So I have no idea what slow fashion is, cheap fashion, fast fashion. I'm like clueless. So you're the expert today in this topic.
I will tell you. So fast fashion is basically those retailers that are able to produce, like mass produce apparel in a very short time period. Usually making a mass-produced item can take anywhere from 6 to 8 months. It can take longer sometimes. I mean, for obviously certain brands, it takes much longer. But for companies like Zara, H&M, they have the abilities to turn around goods in like 2 to 3 months. So that's a lot of product getting turned around on a consistent, like almost on a monthly basis. There's new items. So just think about how much production they're pushing out into the world and people are buying it, wearing it, and getting rid of it, and it's just filling these landfills or throwing shit away. They're making these, it's like from the beginning to the end, it's just like a not good process, right? They're producing thousands and thousands of units, and in order to produce those units, they're using synthetic fibers, synthetic fabrics. So they're other companies, textile industry, is now producing this fake synthetic stuff and polluting our world in order to create this fabric that they're going to feed to Zara, which is they're going to use to make these goods and ship out to the world, and then it's going to end up in a landfill. So it's like all of these horrible things happening from 1 to 10, and it's just a lot to kind of like comprehend sometimes. So I love that there are brands like Allbirds, for example. So Allbirds is a company that uses naturally produced fabrics. So like merino wool, which is natural merino wool, and that's actually the sneakers I wore today. And they use their materials to completely make like a beautiful sneaker, so comfortable. It's the most comfortable sneaker I've ever tried on in my entire life. And it's all made from natural materials. And I'm like, if they can do this, why can't a lot of other people, you know? And I think a lot of brands are realizing that. And a lot of brands, I think, also are kind of using the sustainability factor as like as a PR play, or to kind of like hop on board the sustainability like train, you know.
It's trending, you know.
Yeah,
Green
because it's trending. And, you know, no doubt it is trending, but I think it should always be trending, like forever. Especially because as the world, we need to get our shit together, you know, and especially the United States, you know, and we're just like fucking shit up, you know.
Basically. Like
we really are. And it's not just obviously the fashion industry, it's like so many other things, but I think that I can do my part by being more sustainable in my life. And if I'm going to do that, I want to be able to document that and share that on my website. So right now I'm in the process of I made a whole like sheet about how I want to change my site to like portray what I want to do going forward. So you guys will see a couple new blogs that'll pop up. I've been doing it on my Instagram, talking about sustainable brands. I've been working with sustainable brands. I've been wearing sustainable things for a long time. But now I want to make it a little bit more of my focus and kind of bring it to light. And I think it's important. So, that's why I love doing that shoot with you for Tesla,
Yes.
I want it to become a bigger part of my lifestyle, and hopefully that'll resonate on my blog and my Instagram as well.
That's great. I mean, that's a great mission to have too, for yourself and your blog. It's needed right now in this time. That's something that I haven't even thought of, like fast fashion. Like I go through shirts, like, it's nothing. And I always like donate them to Goodwill and stuff or whatever, like after a few years. But I never thought of like the production process or where I'm actually buying clothes. That's something I think that a lot of people probably overlook, you know? And before we get to your website, I actually want to know, like, did you always like think that way? Or is this something that just happened recently from like when did you first realize that something was wrong in the fashion industry or you needed to make some personal changes to stand behind something?
I think I first realized in what a waste, like I guess I always knew, like you know that there's, the landfills are filling up with fabric and like things like that. You learn that kind of stuff in school. But I don't think it really like clicked until I started working at my corporate job where my first corporate job, and we would have tons and tons of samples come in for every single delivery, and which is on a monthly basis. And we would have, let's say, 50 or 100 samples, and we would cut that down to like 20. And those 20 were the ones that would go into production. And then the 80 would just be in our sample closet, just like discarded. Now, those 80 samples times 12, that's a lot of freaking samples in a year. And then that times however many years you're operating, plus that's just one company. Right. So that's when I started realizing, like, whoa, like what is happening? Like, first of all, why are we making so much of this, right? Like, and where are we getting all this fabric from to make so much of this? Who is making this fabric? How is this fabric made? And you start to learn all those things because I'm working in the industry, right? So like things like fabric content, country of origin, those kinds of things I have to know. So I started realizing, like, wow, like there's so much waste in this industry. And, I would do my research here and there. It was definitely not something that happened overnight. It was something that I would, look into here and there. And I would have like phases where I would kind of just like educate myself. It wasn't even for like, oh, I want to do a post about it or anything like that. It was always like, I just want to know. I was always curious, and I would just look things up and learn more about it. And that's kind of how I started discovering brands that were being eco-friendly and sustainable. And that's how I discovered Girlfriend Collective, who is an amazing active brand. All of their fabric is made from plastic bottles, like straight up plastic bottles.
How is that even possible?
You can literally, you can go on their website right now, girlfriend.com. They have an entire page that you can read that explains the entire process from 1 to 10. And there's also on their Instagram, they have a highlight that explains every single factory they have. So they literally do a walkthrough on Instagram stories of their entire factory and their process from, I think it's 3 different factories. So they go, each story is each factory, and you can see everything that happens, all the plastic bottles. It's really amazing, and it's actually one of the most amazing leggings that I've actually ever tried. So I got those. They did a really cool campaign when they launched, I think it was in 2016. They launched in 2016, and they were giving away free leggings. So basically, they're like, send us your shipping address. We'll ship you these leggings. You pay for shipping, which was like $10. So I got a pair for myself. I sent a pair for my mom. I sent a pair for my sister. And we got these leggings, and we were like, holy shit, they're freaking amazing. And that's when I'm like, I need to look into them more. So I looked into them more and discovered how cool this badass brand is. and I never looked back. And then after that, they finally launched, and their leggings were, I think, like $99 when they first launched, and now they're like 68. But it's really amazing, and it's like a brand that I'm gonna be supporting for the rest of my life because I love their leggings, I love their motto, I love what they're doing. They're 100% recycled materials. They're using plastic bottles to make my freaking sports bra and leggings that I'm gonna sweat in. It's freaking amazing, and I don't see any reason why nobody would want to, you know, buy a pair of leggings from them. Like $68, like people pay like thousands of dollars for Lululemons, you know. So it's like, there's just no comparison for me.
That's awesome. Yeah, I just pulled up the website. It's pretty interesting, actually. I did not know that you can make clothes or leggings, for that matter, with plastic bottles. That's pretty remarkable.
Yep. They're expanding. They started with leggings. Now they have obviously other things, but it's all recycled materials, and you can read about every single step of their production process, which I think it's so important for companies to do. Like Girlfriend Collective, they're so transparent about every single thing that they do, unlike other companies, and you'll be able to read. They don't even they'll say that they're being sustainable, but there's like no description on what they're doing, how they're doing it. So it's like a company can say that, oh, we use recycled materials, and then you really look into it and they're using 2% recycled materials. And it's like, if you're using 2% recycled materials, you're not really using recycled materials, you know.
Basically,
what about the rest of the
hello.
Yeah, exactly. So you want to be as close to that 100% number as possible, because even if you are using even, let's say, 10% of you know, synthetic materials, you're still putting in that waste, that 10% waste. But it's much better than having to have a product and buying a product that's completely synthetic. So that's my motto for now.
Yeah, I pulled up the waste from Google. It says fast fashion. Every year, the world as a whole consumes more than 80 billion items of clothing. The main concern with fast fashion is the clothes waste it produces. According to the Environmental Protection Agency, 15.1 million tons of textile clothing waste was produced in 2013. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
And never, ever would have guessed that. Like, I thought, like, cotton would be not a big deal, you know? And a lot of this is coming from overseas, right? Like, what are some of the countries that are...
China, Vietnam, Sri Lanka.
Wow.
Yeah. That's where all this is coming
Unbelievable.
from.
So let's...
And it's polluting, you know, not only is it harmful for our landfills, and it's polluting their air to produce the synthetic fabric. And there's some villages and areas in China where they have factories and people can't travel through them. They have to have like hazmat suits on to like go through them, because there's like radiation, and like you can get sick, and it's insane. I'm like, how is that even like a thing? Like, don't go that way, you might die. Like, what?
Kind of sucks though, because we have to like watch everything that we do. We can't drive a car. We can't wear this clothing.
So
we can't do
that's
this.
That's like another part of it, right? So it's like, now there's like, I was actually just watching Hassan Minhaj today, and one of his episodes, and he was talking about how like there's a million different things that we are supposed to be aware of, and it's like you feel like you can't make one wrong step. Like, oh God, what if I buy this dress from Zara? What, like, you know, like I'm being a horrible human being. So I think it's just like you have to just pick and choose your battles, you know? Like there's going to be times when you're going to have to make decisions that are just not the greatest, but whatever. You have to do what you have to do, you know? Like, you may run out of, I don't know, stockings, and you have to go and buy, like, you know, synthetic fiber stockings, whatever. You have to go and do it. But I think that we could be as conscious as possible. And I think that's, like, I don't want to be perfect, and I know I'm not going to be, you know. So I just think that I'm going to just do my part and try to talk about brands that I think are doing good on this planet, and brands that are being ethical. And, you know, even like I have a friend who I used to work with. Her name is Maria Murphy. She runs a e-commerce marketplace called Lele Nepal, and it is an entire marketplace of artists from all around the world who ship her different products, and they're all handmade. And because these products are selling on her website and she's able to pay these artists, they have a way to provide for their families. They have a way to bring an income into their households and not have to sell themselves to sex trafficking or, you know, whatever the case may be, like, you know, in these impoverished areas. So I think like bringing brands like this to light is important, for me at least, because I've worked in this industry and I think that it's only right for me to talk about, you know, the brands that, especially if I'm going to be on the hunt for brands that are sustainable, why not share them?
Yeah.
So that's the direction we're going, you know, but I'm still gonna have like, you know, I don't want to be like one of those like super eco green people who like bugs out about everything and anything that's not sustainable. I mean, it's really hard to transition. I mean, I feel like I'm not even like halfway there yet. But if I can be at least in the fashion world or in my styling world, at least I'm doing that much, and then we bring about change as we go on, right? Like using metal straws, like we have a Brita in the house, we don't buy plastic bottles,
right.
like, you know, things like that. So I think you just got to do your part, and I'm hoping that it all goes well.
That's great. Yeah, the small changes really add up, and I think you said it perfectly. Like that, just being consciously aware of what you're actually purchasing, changing your habits, maybe thinking twice before you purchase something, and or even like before you throw something away. You know, recycle it or give it to somebody instead, and you know, to reduce as much waste as possible. And like, it's not we can't be perfect, you know, and the last thing we want to end up doing is, you know, becoming like a judgmental, crazy, fast fashion type of person. Oh, what are you wearing today? Oh my God, I can't believe you're wearing that. Like, isn't that creating pollution? And like, aren't you a hypocrite now? Like,
exactly. You don't want that.
So
it's like kind of getting the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
But you do as much as you can, you know, and that's the main thing.
And there are ways to go about it, you know. So one of them is Poshmark, like we wanted to talk about. So I have so many beautiful clothes, and I'm so attached to them, I just have such a hard time throwing them away or even just donating them, because when you're donating goods to Goodwill or Salvation Army, they're taking what they need and the rest of it they're either selling or also throwing that away. So it's just kind of like I'm not sure what's gonna happen to my beautiful blazer, and like, you know how I am, I'm just like, attached to my babies. So certain things and certain items that I have, I started selling them on Poshmark.
So what is Poshmark? What is that actually?
So Poshmark is basically like a reselling website. So what you can do is you can list things that you own or whatever that you have that you want to sell, and you sell it for a certain percentage, and Poshmark takes a certain percentage. I think it's like 3% that they take, or between 2 and 3. And it's really cool. It's kind of like eBay, but for clothes, I guess I could say.
Okay.
And you have your own like closet, and then you put listings on your closet and you sell them. But it's really cool because it's like built on the mission that we shouldn't be throwing our clothes away, especially if they're in good condition, because it's like that one man's trash is another man's treasure kind of philosophy. And it's not like I'm selling people like my used underwear, like, you know, like I'm selling you a dope ass blazer, like, you know, or like dress pants, and I've had a lot of luck, and people sell all kinds of things on there, and like now they have like a whole wholesale section, so you can literally, if you get to a point where you're really doing this as like your job, you can go and purchase items wholesale and then sell it on Poshmark.
Oh wow.
So it's really interesting. So it would be one of those things where, like, for example, let's say you have a clothing company and I am a Poshmark seller, Poshmark ambassador, and I come to you and you're like, oh, I have like 60 of these brown shirts that I never used, or we're not going to produce them. I'll sell them to you for $5 each, and I'll buy them from you, and then I'll sell them on Poshmark. So it's a way for you to not have to throw those 60 brown shirts that you're never going to use away.
Right.
A way for me to make an income and be able to take care of my daughter, maybe, you know. So it's really interesting, and you know, you kind of feel good about it because you're selling this brown shirt to maybe somebody who can't afford a $30 shirt and is so happy to be able to get like a brand new shirt for $12. You know, so it's like you're helping out this person, you're helping out yourself, you're helping the world, and you're not filling these landfills with product.
Smart.
So,
Very smart. I never heard of that website before. So
there are others like that. There's like the Real Real. So the Real Real is like upscale designer items. So a lot of like handbags, like Chanel and Louis Vuitton and like things like that. They also do like dresses and occasion wear. I mean, they have everything, but like I would go to them for like a designer bag or something, because what's, you know, like for me personally, if I wanted a designer bag, I'm not gonna go to the mall and pay $5,000 for a designer bag. I'm just not. I think it's because I work in the industry, so I would rather just like go to the Real Real, or like I can't remember the name of this company, but there's a company that you can become a member for $90 or $100 a month, and you can borrow one bag a month. Any bag, any designer bag that they have on their website. They ship it to you, you keep it for a month, you send it back. Next month, you get another bag, send it back.
And it's the real like brand. It's not like a aftermarket BS type of thing.
It's an actual designer whatever bag. Yeah, it's like you're just borrowing. It's not yours to own. You're leasing a bag pretty much for the month, for $100 a month.
Interesting.
And I'm just like, why wouldn't I just do that? Then I can have like 12 different bags. You know,
are there any satchels that you recommend? Male satchels?
I will get back to you on that. I will definitely get back to you on that. I'm sure there is. There's a few websites that I can definitely send you that are really cool, like that. So I'm like, you know, for me, it's like, yeah, of course, like, I mean, don't get me wrong. If I find like the Chanel earrings that I've been looking for my entire life, I'm gonna buy them. You know, because I'm gonna be wearing those earrings like for the rest of my life. I'm never gonna take them off. But there's like, you know, I'm not buying a bag. Like, I don't think that I need to, unless like it's something that I know that I'm going to have and cherish and maybe pass down to my kids. Like there might be, you know, there's a few things that I want like that, but I think you have to be careful. I'm not that person who needs to go and buy like everything designer or a new thing to wear somewhere every single day. You know, I believe in style. I believe that you can take one item and wear it in different ways if you really wanted to, and you shouldn't have to buy like 80 different white tops. Like you can figure it out, you know?
Yeah, totally. It's funny. I mean, the fashion industry, and to even be talking about this, because I know zero about fashion. You know, I'm a pretty basic guy. I got my V-necks. I wear the same clothes over and over again. I wear the same pants to work. I just recirculate them each week, you know. And instead of Monday wearing these, I'll wear this on Tuesday the following week. So pretty basic dude when it comes to fashion. But I've always like wondered, like I would see like the runway, I guess it is like the runway fashion. I'm like, what the hell are they wearing? Like some of them are just like so out there. They were like, what was it? I saw this one where these dudes were wearing like earrings, like a tank top shirt and these like poofy type pants. You would never wear that in the real world. What the hell are they trying to accomplish? Like, I'm so confused.
Runway fashion is not really everyday real fashion. It's more of a way for a designer to showcase their talents and their abilities and how far they can take, you know, their vision. And it could be however they want it to be, right? So you'll see runway fashion that is pretty practical and that you can wear, and that you would want to wear. You'll see runway fashion that you probably would only wear on the red carpet, and then you'll see runway fashion that you're like, you can't even walk in that, dude. Like how? Like, is anyone supposed to wear that? So it's just up to the designer, right? And the designer that's where they have that free reign to get as creative and as, you know, wild as they want, and maybe they don't want, you know. So that's their way of like kind of creating their art. That's really, so I wouldn't say you can when I was little, I used to think the same thing. I'm like, who the hell is wearing like this stuff is cool, but like I can't go to school wearing that, you know?
Right.
So but that's just kind of a way for them. Like there'll be times when you'll be able to pick certain styles out of a runway collection and put them out onto your actual collection. Some people, you know, obviously like celebrities are buying this stuff and they're wearing this stuff. And other times it's just a way for them to create their art, you know, and that's kind of the beauty in it. Sometimes I love to watch runway shows. I love to see the different designs. But obviously, one of my biggest hurdles with the runway is the models that are always skinny white. And I think that's kind of like, you know, being a South Asian woman, it's really annoying to kind of always see like this tall, pretty white girl on the runway. And now we're seeing like so many different things happening right now in this time and age. And it's really exciting to see somebody who's not just a tall white girl
Right.
on the runway. And I think one of the big things when I was younger, I loved the Victoria's Secret fashion show.
Me too, actually. I loved it.
I'm
when
sure
I was
you
like
did.
14, man.
Yeah, same. When I was like 14, I loved the, you know, it was like something that kind of like aspired to. I'm like, wow, like I want to be, like, who doesn't want to be a VS angel? Like, come on. So, I would always like look up to these shows, but I always knew in the back of my mind, even though I was inspired by them, I always still knew in the back of my mind that I could never be them. Like there was no way in hell that I would ever get to that point. And I didn't realize what that meant until I got older and I understood like, wow, like that really, like there's just no inclusivity there. Oh my God, I can't say that word. You know, and there's no diversity, and I don't want to be supporting something where I can't see some kind of version of myself there as well. So I kind of like stopped watching the show, you know, and I started noticing, you know, I would read up on it. I would read up on like what models are still modeling with Victoria's Secret. Like there's a lot of scandal with like, you know, some of the models like not okay with the work ethic and things happening. And a lot of models actually left Victoria's Secret. Probably because of that. Maybe they might not have disclosed, you know, but there's a little shadiness over there.
Scandal.
So I definitely, like, I understand where it all came from, where the whole, like, you know, oh, we like, you know, tall and skinny and fair is beautiful. I get where all that came from, but like we don't live in that world anymore, and we shouldn't have to live in that world anymore. Like that world is gone. Like let's all.
That's what I like about you. Like
you know?
you kind of paved your own way, and I noticed on your website too that you're promoting, you know, not just eco-friendly, but women to feel comfortable in whatever type of clothing they're wearing. You know, and you have a lot of different styles. So let's dive into your website a little bit here. It's Restyles. That's ristyles.com. And let's do a little screen share action. Check it out. So this is the portfolio page. And we got Riddhi and a whole bunch of outfits here. Yeah. Different collections. Marcus Lewis.
Yeah, so this was actually the first page that I created because I wanted to have a place where I could collect all of my professional photos. Kind of like an online portfolio. I didn't want to print my photos out and have them in like a book how normally you would. I wanted to have more of a digital platform, so that's kind of what I did. I uploaded all the shots that I've ever taken. With it's actually probably not up to date at all, but
no, these are great shots though. It's amazing, and you can see like the different you're a great model too, so
thank you.
You had a great photographer, one or the other.
Yeah, I mean,
so, a little bit of both.
Definitely a lot of bit of both. My photographers, I mean, every single photographer I've probably worked with has just been like phenomenal, and we've always had like a great time working together. Marcus is, you know, he's like my go-to. He's amazing. We just vibe great together. We've shot together a few times too, which was always
it's fun. It's so fun.
Yeah, shooting is fun. I mean, you know, you meet up, you hang out, and you make some dope IG worthy content.
Yeah. So this is a great portfolio page here.
Thank you.
Just to highlight some of the outfits and stuff and your style. So let's take a look at the other page. Let's go to the lifestyle page. So here you have like the eco-friendly, I guess those are shoes. Yeah, those are shoes.
Yeah, it's like a gift
why is that a guess? I don't know why I guessed that. Are those shoes? Yeah, they're shoes.
Yeah, so this is the eco-friendly guide that I did. I guess this would be one of my like some of the first, not the first, but like closer to the first fully eco-friendly posts that I did. And I tried to talk about products that I use on the daily basis that I love, and that I really believe in, like Soma Ayurvedic. They are natural clean beauty products. I freaking love them. I actually have to get a new set. I need that.
This is really nice. I mean, you have like I'm seeing you boxing right here. Looks like with a trainer, and you have like the actual outfit that you're wearing, and then you have some affiliate links like tagged over here where people can get them. So that's cool.
Yep.
How did you like that? Like starting the affiliate marketing with your blog, was that difficult for you, or was that something that kind of just took off?
I think I kind of started affiliate marketing, I want to say like about 8 months ago, 8 to 10 months ago, maybe a year, but I don't think I didn't really know what I was doing in the beginning. I think the first like 6 months I was kind of just like winging it and no clue. Like I was doing more research than I was actually executing because I wasn't sure what was going on and how to do it and how to frame it. And then I got a little bit better at it. And now I would say I have a better grip on it, and a better understanding of it, but I still don't consistently post enough to be making the amount that I would want to make from affiliate marketing.
Right.
So like right now, I wouldn't say my goal is really about affiliate marketing. Right now, for me, it's just about sharing what I do, sharing what I wear. And, you know, if I am going to be showing my outfits and where I got them from, I think it's only fair that I put an affiliate link on it so that I get commissioned so that I can continue
certainly
making outfits and taking shots, because you know all this stuff takes time and it takes work. Like I gotta pay my photographers, I gotta pay for space or whatever it could be, you know. So I gotta pay for clothes. So this is a kind of a good way, and that's why I kind of started doing the affiliate marketing, because I'm like, I can basically do the same thing as I was doing before, which is linking a website, but this time the retailer will give me a commission for it if somebody buys it. Buys
cool.
My recommendation.
I feel like a lot of people actually even listening to this might be interested in starting something like that. Like I have a lot of people who are either designers, or a friend of mine is actually a tailor. He owns his own brand. He might be on the podcast in another couple weeks.
Oh, cool.
So that's why I wanted to have you on first for fashion, and then see his perspective too for men's clothing.
Yeah.
So that'd be interesting. But affiliate marketing is taking off, still. There was like the boom, where everybody was putting their affiliate link, but it's still a big way to make money. It's a great way to make money on the side. I have affiliate links that I use like for audio equipment and stuff like that, or for my Tesla. So that's great that you have that linked on there. And I just like the dynamic on your website, because it's really easy to flow through, and it's kind of cool. Like, oh, this outfit's really cool. Like, oh, there I can get it right there, So I'd encourage people, definitely check out the website, restyles.com. Yep. And let's take a quick look at your Instagram. Let's do that actually, because I wanted to talk about your Instagram, because when I first met you, you didn't have 10,000 followers, you know? So it grew quite a bit.
Yeah.
So tell me about like your journey growing your Instagram following. Everybody wants to know, like, oh my God, like, is it really about the followers, or is it about the content that you put out?
Followers.
Like,
I would say.
There's Rio right there.
Yep, there's
Dope.
Rio. I would say it's not about the followers. Yeah, it looks nice to have like a big number on there, of course. Who wouldn't want that, But it's not about the followers. It's really about your engagement. And if you've built this community that really loves who you are, what you do, and is constantly following you and is constantly engaging with you and commenting on your post and kind of taking the journey with you, right? And I try to look at it in the way that I interact with others on Instagram. So, for example, there's probably like 5 or 6 people on Instagram that I'm constantly engaging with, constantly talking to on a daily basis, like, responding to their stories and their DMs. And some of them are like, people that I've met like once or twice, and they're just like people who I know, and some things, what they post is things that I follow. What they post is things that I want to talk about, and I'll respond, giving them my opinions and things like that. So I try to think about engagement in that kind of sense. So I want to build a community that's engaging with me for the things that I post about, which is style, eco-friendly fashion. Just recently, actually, I had a friend who looked at this blog, the eco-friendly blog, and he was a male friend, which is rare for me. Like, I have a lot of male followers, but I think that's mostly because a lot of them in the beginning, like when I first started Instagram, like, you know, I think I had a lot of guy friends to begin with, and then I just got a lot of male followers because everybody thinks that I'm pretty.
Yeah,
So
it goes hand in hand,
yeah,
right?
so,
Guys
you know,
follow models, you know, like they
yeah,
used to be
so
magazines, but now it's Instagram.
now it's
So
Instagram, right? So, but like I think and then after I started focusing on style and fashion more, my female following grew a lot, you know. And I think that had a lot to do with me engaging with people who are like-minded, who are other style bloggers and fashion bloggers, and kind of just keeping that consistent. I think for me, my Instagram journey has been pretty hard because I'm not a consistent poster. I'm not somebody who can like post every single morning or post every single evening. I can probably do that for like a week or two, but I will 100% fall off. And that's not because like I planning to fall off. It's just like life happens. And like I just have so many things going on in my life all the time that I just haven't gotten to that place where I'm like, I have to post at this time on Instagram on this day. And I've had phases. I've done like a couple months of like scheduling my posts and making sure I'm getting the content out, but then I kind of burn out. So I think I've been trying to find like that balance, which is really important for growing your Instagram. And another thing that I would say is that it kind of consumes you when you're focusing too much on growing your Instagram. And, you know, when you hear a lot of people talk about like mental health and how they need a break and how it's true.
Yeah, social media anxiety is a problem.
It is so real. I'm not sure how I cope with it really, because to me, I guess for me, I try not to make it a big deal. I try not to make it a thing like, oh, you have to post. Oh, you didn't post today. Oh, you know, I try to make it like, oh, you didn't post. It's fine. You can do it tomorrow. You know, like I try not to make it one of those things where it's like, you have to be on it. You have to like, you know, and maybe I'll get to that point at some time, you know, maybe this will become like a business. But right now, this is something I want to enjoy it. I don't want to get to the point where I'm not having a good time doing my blog. I don't want to feel pressured to get posts out. I don't, you know, but there are definitely times when I did feel like that. And I think the reason why I'm able to get to the point where I am now is because I had to go through those hardships of being like, fuck, I'm not doing enough. Fuck, I'm not doing enough. Like, I'm not posting enough, you know. And sometimes you doubt yourself, you know, and I've had many of those times. And I think I would just reach out to people and, you know, ask them what they did. I posted a lot. I would reach out to marketing networks. I had one thing that really helped actually really boost my followers was this marketing company that I was working with in London, and they offered me like 2 months of marketing on my IG because it was a new platform that a friend of mine was starting, and he's like, you know, let me help you like grow your Instagram, and you can be kind of like not like our guinea pig, but like our like, you know, like our influencer, like testing it out for us kind of like situation. So he did that for me, and actually it did really well. Those 2 months I had like the best engagement. My one post would have like 1,000 likes. I'm like, what? That's crazy. It was insane. But you know, it was because he had people working in the back, you know, promoting my page on various social media sites. So like, another big way to, you know, grow is to do Instagram ads and Facebook ads. So I do those here and there. I don't do them a lot because I don't want to put so much money into a business that's not making any money yet.
Right.
So I'm trying to limit my cost of how much money goes into my blog and how much money goes into my ads. So I'll only do an ad if it's like a post that I really believe in, like if it's like an eco-friendly post that I really want some people to know about, or if it's like a really dope shot that I love, that I think will capture people, the audience, and then I'll do it. But I think Instagram ads and Facebook ads are pretty hard. It's something that I'm still learning. It's not easy. You have to like have the right targeting and, you know who your audience is, and you might have an idea, but it's still hard to narrow that down. Like I've had tons of Instagram ads that like just have like failed. Like I've like spent like $10 or whatever. It's not that much money, but you know, it's just like and then there's some that like I did something else and they were like crazy, they did so well, and I'm like, well, what was the difference, you know? And then there's barely a difference, you know? So I'm like, how do I figure this out, like, you know? So it just depends, there's so many factors.
But you're doing a great job so far, and I think that this is really just the start of your journey. You know,
I hope so.
You've gotten here and you've been consistent. You know, coming out with some really good content and working with a lot of photographers, and even doing this collaboration now on a podcast to kind of shed a little bit of light on who Riddhi is. Like, I know you as a friend, but maybe some of your audience doesn't know you. They just see your post like, wow, she's a model and stuff like that. But to get to know the actual personality, you know, behind the picture.
It's surprising how many people ask me if I'm like a full-time model, or like if this IG is like what I do for a living. And to me, I guess I'm kind of like a little bit oblivious to that, because I feel like the people who I engage with and who I talk to are people who already know about my life. So I kind of forget that, holy shit, there's this like entire community of people who have no fucking clue what I do, you know? And I'll realize that when people message me and they're like, hey, are you like an IG model? Is that what you do all day? And I'm like, actually, no, but I wish, you know?
That's so funny.
Yeah. So it's really funny to see that. But I think it's still fun. It's still exciting to do. So.
But you're happy with your job now. You're building your blog. You're doing a lot of different things. So it's pretty great. But I just wanted to, again, thank you for coming today.
Thank you for having me.
And it's been a lot of fun. I've learned a little bit about fast fashion, so I can't wait to post this and bring more awareness to this. And I'm going to be a little bit more conscious now of what I actually purchase. But I'm not giving up Nikes. So
that's okay. I think Nike is actually doing a big initiative on sustainability, and so is Adidas, I believe. One of the things that I want to continue to do or start to do on my blog is to start focusing on big brands that are doing really well. Like there's like Stella McCartney is like the pioneer in sustainability, and she's like a design house. So people like Nike and Adidas, what are they doing? Of course they're saying that they're sustainable here or sustainable there. So like I want to dig a little bit deep into that, because they're like, for example, Adidas and Stella McCartney just did a collaboration collection. So that was really dope. That I didn't get a chance to look into it yet, but I'm really curious to see like exactly how sustainable this collection was, and kind of share that on my site. Like, what are these brands doing? Like, what is Adidas doing to be more sustainable? What is Nike doing to be more sustainable? Or like, you know, here's this brand new company that's, you know, killing it out there, like Girlfriend Collective. You know, like they might, I would love if they just like take over, because we need that. You know, we don't need like Lululemons, we need Girlfriend Collective. So I'm hoping to do more posts like that. I'm also working on a post right now on ways to be more sustainable in your life, and they're going to be the same things that I'm doing in my life to be more sustainable. So it'll just be like 5 or 6 different ways that you can do things. Some of the things we talked about, like, you know, selling your clothes on Poshmark, stuff like that. So I'm really excited to get that out. And,
wow, so you got a lot more projects in the works, huh?
I have so many projects in the work. I think the reason why it's all on hold right now is because we have Rio, and, you know, had a pretty rough start to 2020. It's been kind of like crazy.
Yeah, it's been pretty hectic.
It's been pretty hectic, you know, and I think just all around the world it's been really hectic. Yeah. So, but I'm getting there. I'm hoping that, you know, now that we are socially isolating ourselves, I will be able to get some work done.
Totally.
Yeah.
Well, thanks again, Riddhi, for coming in. And again, you guys can find her at restyles.com, and her Instagram page is restyles by Riddhi. Yep. I'll leave a link in my YouTube channel. If you guys are listening to this, check out my YouTube for that link. But yeah, say goodnight, guys. Another episode in the works.
Good night.
Take care.
Take care.